Two presidents stood on the same stage, and within seconds, one of them had a meltdown so shocking it nearly broke the internet. Millions tuned in expecting updates on disaster relief, unity, compassion, real leadership. Instead, what they witnessed hijacked the entire broadcast and spread across the country before the show was even over. Inside McCormick Place in Chicago, Barack Obama stood at the podium, sleeves rolled up, speaking calmly about a firefighter from Biloxi who hadn't slept in 2 days. The room was filled with survivors, first responders, volunteers, people who understood struggle far beyond headlines. As Obama talked, the hall grew still, pulled in by the steady weight of his voice, but around the edges of the stage, something was off. Crew members exchanged urgent whispers. The host kept glancing nervously at his phone. Even Obama's eyes drifted toward the wings, sensing the shift before anyone said a word. Then it happened. A coordinator rushed up, murmured something into Obama's ear, and disappeared. The mood snapped. The audience felt the air change. Seconds later, a side door swung open. The host's voice cracked as he cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special arrival." And out walked Donald Trump, unannounced, unscheduled, and completely convinced the room was his. A few people clapped. Most didn't. Obama stepped aside with quiet composure, giving Trump the podium. The two men traded a single, subtle look, not hostile, just the silent recognition that the moment had shifted, and not in the way anyone expected.
Target certain groups of people based on what they look like or how they pray. We are Americans. We're supposed to stand up to bullies, not follow them. We're supposed to stand up to discrimination.
Trump tapped the microphone unnecessarily, even though Obama had been using it perfectly fine seconds earlier. Then he launched into an improvised speech, wandering through long stretches of self-praise and half-connected thoughts. The applause landed unevenly, more obligation than enthusiasm. Obama stood off to the side, hands folded, steady and composed. The contrast was impossible to miss. Trump, meanwhile, stepped forward toward the very edge of the stage, directly beneath a ventilation system the tech crew had spent 20 frantic minutes trying to repair. He didn't notice Obama did. Trump's voice grew louder as he paced, filling the room with restless, chaotic energy. And then the vents roared to life. At first, only a few people caught the slight lift in his hair. Then a stronger blast hit, raising it higher, exposing a thin sliver of scalp. A wave of gasps rippled through the room. Camera operators zoomed in instinctively, then jerked back out just as fast. Trump tried to smooth his hair, but that only made things worse. It shifted sideways, not falling off, but crooked enough to look unmistakably wrong. Laughter bubbled up across the audience in scattered bursts. People tried to hold it back, shoulders shaking, lips pressed tight, but it kept breaking through. Backstage, the tech crew panicked.
Leader of the gang was President Obama. He's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election.
The override wasn't responding. The vent kept blasting at full force. Trump tried to keep speaking, but his voice cracked as he reached up again and again, desperately trying to pin down the sliding hairpiece. Every touch only made it worse. Another gust hit, this time sending it almost completely diagonal. That was it. He snapped, "Somebody fix that thing." The room broke. What had been suppressed chuckles erupted into shaking shoulders and barely contained laughter. And then Obama stepped forward, not forcefully, not theatrically, just enough to ground the room. The noise eased as people realized he was moving toward the mic with flawless timing. Obama leaned in and said, "Well, I guess some things just can't stay attached to the truth." For half a second, silence, then the hall exploded. Laughter rolled across the room like a wave. Volunteers doubled over. First responders wiped tears from their eyes. Even the camera crews were shaking behind their equipment, unable to hold it together.
I think foreign observers are troubled by some of the rhetoric that's been taking place in these Republican primaries and Republican debates. I don't think it's restricted, by the way, to Mr. Trump. I find it interesting that everybody's focused on Trump primarily just because he says in more interesting ways what the other candidates are saying as well.
Trump froze red-faced, stunned, his hairpiece tilted sideways like a flag caught in a storm. Obama didn't smirk, didn't celebrate. He simply stepped back, hands folded again, letting the moment cool. And somehow, that quiet composure landed harder than the joke itself. The program continued. Survivor stories resumed. Obama listened intently, grounding the room once more. Trump lingered near the sidelines, constantly readjusting his hair, stealing nervous glances at the cameras, trying to pull the spotlight back under control. But across the hall, phones began lighting up, notifications pinged non-stop. It's already at 2 million views. There are memes already. This is going to break the internet. Trump heard the whispers and stiffened. Obama just gave a soft chuckle, shaking his head at how fast the internet moves. By the time the event wrapped, the clip had already reached millions. Outside, reporters scrambled to go live. People gathered behind the barricades, shouting Obama's line back at the cameras. The city buzzed with disbelief, and the moment had officially taken on a life of its own.